most interesting is not knowing. I think it's just you develop and see what happens. You don't know the limit until you reach it, you know? So I'm trying to push the boundaries a bit more and more. Just to keep discovering something that you've never heard before, you've never seen, you never experienced. That's the most exciting one. It's just going somewhere you haven't been. That's my aim. My name is Nicolas Perez. I am a French guitar maker. I'm based in Berlin. I build high-end quality guitars using spruce, exotic and tropical woods. When I was probably 15, 16, my guitar teacher, he looked at my hand and he said, "You might want to try guitar making." Obviously my guitar playing was awful. So I look where to learn, and I find a school in England. I was quite desperate to learn English as well, so it was kind of perfect to learn the language and guitar making. I did an interview there and I had absolutely no skills, no woodworking skills. I was pretty good at drawings, like technical drawings, so I did some technical drawings for them for the interviews of a guitar, and they said, yeah, that's nice and precise, it's good. I just got all the skills from them, and especially my ex-flatmate, which was a very highly skilled woodworker. We started straight away with, we call him the father of the acoustic guitar, the classical guitar, the concert guitar, nylon strings, from Antonio de Torres, Spanish maker. He developed the one that we know, the acoustic guitar. So we started with a classical guitar, a concert guitar. So this was my very first guitar, which my dad now got. That's good to keep it in the family, you know. At least I can go back and see how crap my work was at that time. In France, the gypsy jazz scene is kind of big because it was pretty much created by Django Reinhardt, which he lived his life mostly in France. The style is growing and growing because it's swing music. Many people like swing music. It's a lot of energy and improvised music, so it's a great music for dancing. So I learned gypsy jazz with classical technique. My dad plays guitar, my godfather plays guitar, so I learned also from both of them, and my godfather plays steel string, which my dad doesn't, and for me it's nice because steel string sounded punchy and strong, you know. It's a groovier, kind of groovy, different sound. So I learned steel string, and then I heard some Django Reinhardt, and I just read the notes for it and tried to learn some. So the gypsy jazz was already in me before I started building. And then there was a lot of jazz happening in Newark when I was studying guitar making. So I just learned gypsy jazz there, deepened my knowledge into learning gypsy jazz, and as it just goes with it. The gypsy jazz has this specific instrument, which is called the gypsy jazz strings, which actually was developed in the Second World War by Mario McCaffrey and Selmer company, Henry Selmer in Paris, and they just wanted to make competition with the steel string guitars, which was starting developing in America. So France didn't have a steel string guitar, so they developed a steel string, and Mario just gave the instrument to Django Reinhardt, and Django Reinhardt just developed this specific style. So everyone believed that this guitar is for gypsy jazz, and it is now. So when I saw this instrument, I go like, I need to make my tribute to this style of music. And I've started drawing for years and years. Actually, this guitar there, that's the very first gypsy jazz that I've made. An old wardrobe, 100 years old wardrobe, mahogany, a Victorian style. I just dismantled the whole wardrobe. It was so old that it had cracks in it. I even used the natural cracks. So the shape of the cutaway is the same shape as a gypsy jazz cutaway. So, but I didn't go round, I just cut it more sharper. I just made it sharper. Soundboard is one of the most important aspects of the acoustic. Just making weaker, try to develop some structure, tension and architecture, and you just work around this. So going thinner, you can go with bigger curves, but it means more tension, more fragile. So you need to think about where to support this and everything. So you need to be quite careful, but you need to let it free as well. Because if you overdo it, then it's too stiff. You just need to have a mix of frequencies and thicknesses to bring different colors. Try to be actually less and less intuitive. At the beginning you are, because you don't have the knowledge. So you go with your intuition and you try out, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from what works, what doesn't work. You actually learn more from what doesn't work than what works. Because when it works, sometimes you don't know why. So intuition is sometimes good, but what really build a very strong fundamental is actually literally pragmatic and logic. So I'm trying to go more and more into the logic. The idea I went for this is literally physics. It's just physics, architecture, mechanism. So I study mechanical engineering in school, so I know about the forces. If you want something that reacts fast, you need to remove a lot of mass. But sometimes also, when you just scrape a bit, and sometimes you scrape a bit too much, you go like, oops. But it works, and then suddenly it still holds. You go like, whoa, maybe I've been too much. You try, and then that you can say is the intuition part. You just work, you feel the material, and then suddenly you feel the material just having a response too quick, and you go like, whoa, yeah, maybe we should stop there and see what happens. So it's a mix, of course. It will never be one or the other, but it's always a mix of an intuition You want everything. You want a bit of everything. It's I think the intuition side is more the raw creative learning curve, and the logic is just what's just bring the creative and make it more solid. It's not magical stuff. We make guitars. They are mechanical. They're just physical. As physical, you use material. So it's all about like physics. So if you believe that it's just a magical thing, and you can make something that just like is going to be mysterious, it's just, yeah, sure. If you want to, it's a different story. But it's pure physics. I think it's just mathematics, physics. It's just, so far that's what explained best. But because we cannot explain fully, I think that's what it makes it mysterious. The thing is, I always want to make it something new, all the time. It's actually what excites me the most. It's just always to bring something very new. And actually, the first model or collection I've developed, I went back to kind of traditional with a modern twist. So it looks more like what I'm interested of. And also, when I was learning guitar making, I developed like very like weird shape. It was very hard to get the attention of people. It was very, very, very difficult to have the people like captivated. They really do like, wow, it's very, and for some people it's like too much. And many also makers, when I show this to guitar makers, they go like, it's a bit too extravagant for them. And they said, if you look at like the selling, it's just like you might struggle. It's like, so yeah, they're right, at the beginning you struggle, but so if you change it into like more traditional, more to something that just people just like are used to it, then you can start implement your innovation like a little bit at a time. But the innovative idea I always have like, I cannot stop. It's just like, it's always there. You just need to find the limit. It's just, I don't know how I do it. It's just, you do it. You just do it. You just draw, see what happens. How I'm going to structure this, support this. You go like, okay, this works, this works, this works. Let's try. I have another idea which I have no clue if it's going to work structurally. But I'm not going to talk about it because if it's a failure, it's a failure. It's a big failure. So, but I'm going to learn from it. But it's, you know, you fail with like very nice materials as well. So it's a bit painful. There's more and more school of guitar making. This what creates value in art. People doing it. The more we have, the better it is, I guess. But also, the more we have, the more material we need. And this is a different topic. So it's also very important, which is like, oh, okay, we might have to switch to something non-natural because we overused the natural aspect of trees and everything. Wood is getting less and less. So we need to take care of this. That's the scary part of it. There's a big responsibility for artists to not just have an impact on their art, but on the ecology. I am experimenting with carbon fiber. They're nice to work with. They don't sound the same. It's not as warm. There's also a lot to learn from this. I'm pretty sure there's always high potential. It's our job to just develop that, to just go beyond this. I've been professional since 2010, so that's 15 years now. So I'm getting more and more confident with what I do. So the challenge is developing innovative ideas, how to make it look good. And it's just, and I just try by drawing for hours. Like the drawing of this instrument has been for years. So the future is it's just hard to tell. I'm tuning up, to whatever. It's just I keep what is good. I have no idea what it does. I don't understand it. So I leave it on the side for now. This is bad. Well, no, thank you. Discard it. Whatever. It's just, you need to keep an open mind all the time. The most interesting is not knowing. You develop and see what happens. And you just hope for something that you have never been. That's the most interesting. Just to keep discovering something that you've never heard before, you've never seen, you never experienced. That's the most exciting one. It's just going somewhere you haven't been. That's my aim.